Sorry.
Hello, everyone. I am here with Irisha at her school. I'm excited to introduce her and our collaboration. So thank you for having me here.
Of course, Kohila. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I appreciate
yes.
it.
So tell us about the vision behind this school that you've created.
Yes, so the vision behind Inspire Academy of Schools was really birthed out of the COVID closure that happened in 2020.
Mm.
As a special education teacher with a district, during that time, I had parents texting, emailing, calling, looking for some assistance on how to support their children while they were at home. Luckily, our district had just implemented the one-to-one device. And so we, working with special needs students, electronics has, been introduced, but they didn't exactly know how to navigate, say, Google Classroom or Class Dojo. And so our students were lucky enough to have had like a year ahead of time to be able to learn and practice those things. And so it was kind of a seamless transition for me to go from a teacher in a classroom to an educational consultant with parents, creating homeschool programs for them during that time. And so that's really where Inspire Academy of Schools was born. I just extended it out to now we are a learning center, or you'll also hear the term micro school, that supports kids that are homeschooling or doing online learning with more educational support.
Mm-hmm. And this year you're expanding.
Yes, we just literally got an email today giving us the clearance for zoning and permitting that we will be able to open our learning center in Glendale, Arizona, starting this summer. So we are super excited to be able to support another community here in Arizona.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. It's so exciting.
Yes, I just know how that feels, right? It's your baby. It's growing.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, so what is it that schools can do that you provide already here?
What schools can do?
Cannot do.
Oh, cannot do. Well, the number one thing that we do that schools cannot do is show the patience and care to kids and families and provide a space where we meet kids where they are, and then we help to build their skills from there. So whether it's academics, social emotional development, or executive function, we have the small learning environment to be able to facilitate a lot of these things, sometimes one-on-one or in a small group. And public schools really, with the pacing requirements, the testing requirements, don't really have the time to really be that intentional and specific on kids' needs like we are able to do.
Yes. Yes, I love that. So you are also adding to this school another area that you were talking to me, right? Where kids who have intensive needs.
Yes.
That you want to help them out because parents don't know what to do with them either, right?
Exactly. Yes, we do have families that reach out to us that have students that have very explosive behaviors.
Yes.
Whether it's self-injurious behaviors, injury to others or property, that we would love to be able to support, but don't have the staff that have the training to support those needs. Yes. And so if there's a way that we can bring in outside programming to the families to help mitigate some of those behaviors, that's 100% what I've been searching for. And hopefully I've found with your program.
Yes. So how did you find out? How did you come into my world?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm really...
Search?
Yeah. Well, I'm really big on social media.
Yes.
I follow a lot of programs that are similar to mine. And so when I'm looking through reels or ads and things, your ad just popped up on my page. And so I saw your video and you were just talking about, parenting and kids that are having challenges in school. And I was like, oh, okay, this looks interesting. Definitely along the lines of what we do, right? Yeah. So I just kept watching and listening. And it really started to resonate with me how you work with parents and children, because that is one of the major focuses that we have here, is that we partner with parents. Yes, I'm an educational expert, but I want to bring that expertise to our families
Yes.
so that they in turn can bring their expertise on their child to us.
Yes.
And then we form a collaboration, a team to help bring the goals and skills forward for their children.
Yeah. When I met you, I was in love with what you were already doing. And I saw how we could be the prerequisite to what you're doing and getting the children into the state of learning,
Right.
Because it is a state.
Yes.
We assume that they come ready, right? And most students don't. And the other part that we focus on is making it holistic, like you just mentioned.
Yes, and that really drew me to your program because one of our pillars is holistic education,
Yes.
not just ABCs and 1, 2, 3s,
No.
right? How do we advocate for ourselves as children?
Yes.
It is important for them to have a voice.
Yes.
And whether it's using an AAC device, an augmented communication device, or actually using their voice and their words, we stress the importance of being able to advocate for yourself. And so we look at the child as a whole and not just from an academic lens.
Yes. And then there's so much other stuff such as sleep,
Diet,
right?
Yes.
Who they hang out with, what do they consume besides just not putting into their body, but even through their eyes, right?
Yes. Oh, 100%. I mean, we worked with a student that came to us last year that, attention was everywhere, behavior was non-compliant. And we really worked with the family to streamline the nutrition, which then in turn helped with getting more sleep. And now, seeing him is night and day from day one to now a year later being in our program. So we really pride ourselves on bringing in the full child and not just focusing on 1 or 2 things.
No, that's kind of why the education system's falling apart, because we're not looking at all the aspects of a human body. This is a human living body.
Right.
If we don't take care of it and if the resources are missing, how can I function?
Exactly. Yes. And schools, yes, they focus on academics, which is important.
Yes.
But like you said, if I'm not ready to learn or in a state where I can learn, if I didn't have breakfast that morning, or if I didn't shower the night before, those things matter to the body and the brain.
Yes.
And I know funding and all of those things come into play, but there are other countries that do education well. So it can be done. It's just where our priorities are.
And also we need to look at it as it's the requirement to learn. These are requirements to learn. So we can't, you can't build a building without a strong foundation.
Exactly.
So we keep building it. They're falling later in life to look at all the adults who are looking for personal development and trying to fix themselves in the 40s and 50s. Why?
Right.
Because we haven't learned what we could have learned when we could have learned.
Exactly.
Which was the ages of, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right?
Right. Oh, exactly. You start to see those holes oh my goodness, I didn't know there was a hole there. What is that?
Yes.
Right. A crack in your foundation can be detrimental to a lot of things that you're trying to do as a young adult, as an older adult. And so, we're really trying to fill those gaps when they're young so that when they do get older, there's less that needs to be filled.
Yes. I noticed in your naming of your school, you didn't say school, you said schools. So you've already had planned to open multiple branches.
Yes, I definitely did have dreams of grandeur, of having more than one location, for sure. Yes.
Yes. So what is that number in a few years? What does that look like?
My number that's been continuously in my brain has been 5.
5.
So we're working on number 2.
Yes.
Which is a dream come true, honestly. And we've been working night and day to try to bring forward, our particular brand of support to our communities here in Arizona. And so hopefully next year, when we're having this conversation again, we're talking about location number 3. That would be amazing.
Yeah, or 4.
Or 4,
or 5.
Or 5,
We can always dream, right?
Exactly.
Dream bigger, and we can get it done.
Yes.
But what do you hope this partnership with Wholistic SuccessCodes, our coaches, what are you hoping that would bring to your space here?
I'm definitely hoping that we're able to help more families on the parent side and on the child side be able to function more in flow with themselves and with each other. Right. Because I remember when my kids were younger, one of my children having difficulty in school. And I had to first look inward on my parenting style, on what I was doing or not doing for that matter, because boundaries were hard for me. And so I had to build those skills within myself first. And then I could look to my child and say, okay, these are our boundaries. These are the things that we need to do and how we're going to do them. And so I love your approach at working with bringing parents into flow and then bringing children into flow, so that then the family can be into flow, because I know that's what happened with my life and my children. And so I want to be able to bring that forward to our community. 100%. And with that flow happening, then learning will 100% explode after that. I'm just super excited to see the process and see all the improvements that happen with our students.
And that is kind of the missing link in our education system and how we look at things right now, is that we always want to improve the grades.
Right.
But that's the byproduct of all of this stuff you just talked about, right? If we clean up all of this and get them into flow, the result always will be the child achieving. There's nothing else going to happen other than achievement.
Exactly. Yes. Because once you get your body ready and then you put it in the situation where it can do what it's designed to do, then sky's the limit.
So I'm excited to grow with you, and I'm glad you saw the difference. And I was just coming from, as I said, coming from a summit that was for mental health related to school. So there was about more than 350 professionals there. All of them have strategies, right? We all have lots of beautiful strategies, all these techniques, all these new way of planning and executing. But the foundation is not ready. It doesn't matter what we put on top.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. Yes. And we've had a few kids come to us this year where we just really had to settle them in, not give them too many demands, not too many academic tasks. You're just here, you're listening, you're engaging in the community with the students, and you're engaging with different educational things and conversations with adults, just to get them comfortable and then ready to learn. Sometimes it takes a week, 2 weeks. It really just depends on the child. But we're really flexible in building in the acceptance and tolerance in being in a program like this, because it's very different from traditional school.
There you just have to be ready.
Exactly.
You're ready, go, let's go.
Yes, and I've had people, come and do visits and tours and things, and when students are here and they're just like, it's just so calm in here, like it's so different. If just walking in the door, you see kids buzzing and doing things, and everyone's on task. No one's doing the same thing, or some kids might be doing the same thing, but it just flows and it works, and there's an ease to what's happening. And so it really hits me in the heart, because that was my plan. That was my desire, to have a comfortable space where kids can come and learn.
Yes, absolutely. And accepted, seen, and given the space to explore, right?
Exactly.
At their pace.
At their pace, right?
That's important. That's the part that's so important.
So important for our
and
kids.
It's working. It's possible, right? We always say in school it's not possible. To the scaling, it's not possible. Everybody says, how can we let everybody at their own pace? It's not possible, but you're doing it.
Yes, we absolutely are. And it's
flowing.
It's flowing, and it's beautiful. Parents are happy and excited. Kids are excited to come to school, right? They're like, oh, we're coming to school. They have friends. They are, learning new things in a very relaxed but still rigorous environment. Yeah,
beautiful. And I want to ask, what was your childhood like? Why did you become a teacher?
Oh, man.
What was the inspiration behind that?
Yes, the inspiration behind that were both of my grandmothers were in education in some way. And so they always sat down with me, sat down with my cousins, and, made sure that we knew our ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, how to cook and do different things like that. And so having that experience really led me to want to do the same thing. And I started working with kids when I was in high school. We had a local pool. And so I went to the pool owner and was like, hey, can I, be the supervisor here? I know CPR, I know all these things, water safety. And so, I would just watch the local kids at the pool. And I was just like, this is so cool. Just watching these kids, teaching them how to swim, it was really amazing. And so just on my college journey, after college, I just really took to education and seeing the kids light bulbs go off when they learn a skill that we've been practicing and they may have cried about because it was hard or a challenge for them.
Yes.
So just seeing those light bulb moments just really lit me up. And so I continue to have that love for, kids learning. And so carrying that forward through this process of Learning Center, micro school, has just been a dream come true for me.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So why did you choose special educator, though?
There
has to be something else going on.
Special education actually was put upon me.
Okay.
I
earned it. You had a lot of patience.
Well, yes. I didn't. I was actually very doubtful of special ed because I had never been in a special education classroom before. And my best friend had been working for Los Angeles County. And so she had been working with special ed kids for like a few years. And she was telling me that, the county has this program where if you have a bachelor's degree, you can get your teaching credential, but you got to work with kids with needs. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. She was like, oh, you'll be fine. So I applied, I got into the program. But before I started like actual teaching, I got hired as a paraeducator so that I can get into the classroom and start to experience, working with that population.
Yes.
And it's history. Like I just fell in love with working with the students because in your mind, you're thinking all of these things about, kids with needs and knowing that back in the day, they used to call them teachable or unteachable. Like, what does that mean? And just all of these presumptions about the population were in my mind. But once I got in there.
What was the one thing that you had to learn was how to connect with them, right? The most important skill is connection, isn't it?
The connection actually came very naturally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because they're kids, right? Like they're no different than any other child. Kids. They're all children.
Sometimes they might test you.
Oh, well, yes. Now,
they want you to make sure that you'll stay, right?
Very true.
Right?
Very true. But I mean, I was working with kindergartners the years before, and they, typically developing, program. And so there were challenges there too. I mean, there were almost 30 kids in a class. You have 34 and 5-year-olds running around.
Yes.
And each kid needs something different. So I had already kind of had that training of, working with kids. So moving into special education, because I had a love for kids, it didn't feel any different.
Yeah. In fact, it makes it powerful, right? Because you see how they learn and the differences, and then you don't have to change anything. I never changed it. I also was a special educator and a teacher assistant as well. I had one-on-one time with a lot of students. So a lot of things I've developed over the years was through them.
Right.
Like watching them. Like, we would always say we have to adapt, but then I would do the same thing with our typical kids.
Right.
It's no different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? It's just, like you said, it's not really different. It may be a different presentation. It might be a different tone.
Yeah. Or pace.
Exactly. But it's still the same.
An expectation. You could, you don't have to finish it at the end of this period. We can have 2 periods to finish it, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be.
Yes. And bringing in those accommodations just really help our students and our children learn at their pace.
Yes.
And that's the one switch from a kindergarten classroom to a special education classroom was it's supposed to be designed specifically for them.
Differentiating.
And exactly. Differentiating, accommodating in different ways. And so, I just
fell in love.
That was in 2007 and never looked back.
And now that's paying off here, right?
Yes.
Because all of the work you've done there now is flowing into here.
It absolutely is. We're supporting 15 families that have, multiple children or single children that come to us throughout the week and that have been here with us, some 2 years, some they're finishing out their first year with us.
Yes.
And so just being able to really support communities and families has been a blessing for us. And that's the goal that I had.
Yeah, and also you're a blessing to them because if you think about it, if I'm a parent, I take my child out for whatever reason I took them out for, then I get panic, right? As a mom, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Because I'm not an educator.
Mhm.
Like I had emotions to take out in the first place, right? A
Right.
lot of it is done by emotions, right?
Yes.
We get pissed off, or we,
Right.
we've been in a cycle of, repeating something, and we're just end of it, right? We're just
Mhm.
tired of it, and we want to
Exactly.
take them out. But then I feel like a lot of parents I talk to also, they just freeze. What do I do now? Am I going to screw up my kid's future now that I don't have a real school?
Right. Yeah.
So you take that fear away.
I do.
And I know you do. Absolutely, you do.
I do. I don't give myself enough credit for that.
No, I'm giving it to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Because I do. I mean, I have some parents that when we do team meetings, which we do once a quarter.
Yeah, you're like lifesaver for them.
Absolutely.
You make them go to bed and sleep.
Exactly. And they can get up in the morning and know that when they take their kid to program, they're going to be safe, they're going to be seen, they're going to be heard, and they're going to get
it's a blessing.
All of the things that they need.
Yeah, it is a blessing. Yes. So micro schools. So those people, for those who don't know what micro schools are, they're small versions of a school, but then it's very dedicated and customized. And as you say, the child gets to explore at their own pace.
Yes.
And be seen and heard.
Exactly. And that's how our micro school operates. There are
other versions.
Right. Multiple micro schools internationally.
Yes.
That operate on different spaces, on different levels, but they're all geared towards a specific community and to support them in the way that community desires to be supported. Yes. And so, we have a lot of families that reach out to us. Some are like, oh, that's interesting, but I'm really looking for something more this.
Yes.
And we're like, blessings. Absolutely. If I can give you a referral, I hand the referral, because not every program is for every person. No. But the ones that this program fits specifically for will find us and will love us.
Yes, that's alignment, right?
Yes,
without
absolutely.
That, you can't serve anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. I am excited for our this partnership.
Yes.
I can't wait to do the both sides. I know this side, I want to make it. I want to collaborate with you to talk about how that looks like, the program, right? With the students who are already in flow, but how can we make them into more flow, right?
Yes.
And the other one that you want to start with students who have been kicked out of school or suspended or that explosive behavior, how can we support them to bring them into the main room?
Yes, perfect. I'm excited for it as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'll see you guys in another episode. Thank you so much.